is it actually being driven or are you actually being desperate?
Chasing those material benefits, do they really give us peace?
You compare yourself to other parents to see how good or bad you are.
What's wrong in being a working woman as well as a mother?
What is the energy that you're working with? First of all, relationship in itself is very transactional.
So what was the prerogative? Just get good marks.
Bringing a life into this world, are you even aware why you're bringing that life into this world? How many times has your mother asked you, how have you been? How was your day?
So you needed robots probably, and that's when it was told that, okay, keep your emotional baggage outside. You do this for me, so I do this for you. And if you don't do this for me, I will not be available to you. All the relationships are becoming toxic because of transactions.
Hello, everybody. I'm Priya, and I'm the founder of Disconnect to Connect and Soul Crafted. Thank you so much for the beautiful response for the first episode of Disconnect to Connect that we posted last week. And this is going to be the second one. Now, I have a sincere request from all of you guys. These topics are very close to the heart because these topics are something which I have worked with my clients, where Shilpi has worked with her clients. And we know that there are a lot of people who needs to hear these things so that it makes a difference in their life, so that they get the courage to go ahead and do whatever is stopping them from doing or being the person that they are. And this cannot be possible without your support. So here is a request. When you watch the videos, watch it at 1x, because we are a little slow in having the conversation. So if you do not have as much time, watch it in 1x. And my request to you is to like and share with people who you think will benefit out of it something. And if you feel that this conversation that we are having resonates with you, then my sincere request would be for you to go share it with the people who you think will resonate with it. So this is my request. This is going to be the episode 2 of it, and we are going to be posting an episode every week, every Sunday at around tea time, so that you can chill with your tea or coffee, watching the episode, reflecting on your life, going through the experience, because these are experiential sessions as well from the episode 2 onwards. So yeah, I want to pop in here, give you this information, and also let you know that I have something very interesting for those of you who are looking forward for a retreat like Disconnect to Connect. April is a month of huge potential. April, like 2025 is a year of huge potential, transformation, change, and so much more. But then April 2025 is literally a fire energy. And what I mean by fire energy is that everything that you have been trying to transmute in your life will get transmuted, and everything that you want to create in your life, want to birth in your life, is going to get birthed. Now, for both of these, you will have to give your divine yes. And if that is it, then the changes will start happening. Now, what is the news that I have for you? From the 9th of April until the 24th of April, we are running a special discount for Disconnect to Connect. That is a 22% discount. All right. So if you are interested to know more, if you are interested in what this is for you, I request you to connect with us, drop us a DM. Or comment on the video as Disconnect to Connect or D2C, DTC, and we'll get connected with you and we will take you through the process. Yeah. Thank you so much. And your support matters. So please go ahead and spread the word. Thank you.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the episode 2 of Disconnect to Connect. And today we are going to be talking about how success without soul affects all of us as people, human beings, visionaries, leaders, workers. Okay, all of us have external success, but we still have an internal void. How the systems are designed to measure achievements and numbers, but not fulfillments. Okay, how relationships and leaderships are without authenticity, or how authenticity can make a difference when you are a leader or when you're in a relationship. I don't mean external relationships, but a relationship with yourself. So these are the things that we are going to be talking today in this episode. And here with me, I have Shilpi again, and I am Priya, and let's deep dive into this. So Shilpi, I have a question for you, okay? What is the moment you realize that success did not feel like it's enough?
I think in the beginning I did not even know what is success. Oh, yeah. It was just like chasing something. From childhood, we have been taught to chase, come first in the class, get good numbers, and then secure a good seat in a good college. You have to go study medicine or engineering or something like that. You know, it's a constant push from the society and then the family that you chase this and you chase this, and if you get this, then you're successful. See, somebody else is getting this, somebody else is doing that, else is so good. Constant comparison, and that probably was so pressurizing that we do not define success for ourselves. We always see success from another perspective, from an external perspective. And that's why when we grow up not understanding what success actually means to us, we are not in harmony with ourselves. And that is why we probably don't even understand what is fulfillment. Yeah. Yeah, so in my profession of coaching, I have come across many people who are high achievers. And it's inspiring to know their journey. It's very inspiring to understand how they have achieved so much. And here I want to bring your attention to the point that the achievements always somehow is drawn from the material success, like having a big house and having lots of bank balance, having the ability to travel business class. But I met this gentleman some time back, elderly gentleman, about 70 and above. He was from a very humble South Indian family, and he made it really big. He's very well known. He made it really big with all his hard work, dedication, and focus, because he knew he has to become this. He was very clear, very driven, self-driven, motivated, driven by everything that he had to achieve materialistically. Okay? So he studied hard. He went to pursue his American dream, got his PhD, became a doctorate of a very coveted subject, and he started getting offers from different organizations who wanted him to be an expert in that particular department. So he gained a lot of fame, name, money, built a 7-bedroom huge mansion in one of the poshest locations of the USA with a swimming pool and all that. Has children, they're all grown up and they have moved away. Nobody lives in that house. Okay? And he himself travels from that house to another house to a city in India because he has another big house here. And he's shuttling between two worlds to take care of his properties. Okay? He must have received so many awards, and you would be overwhelmed to see the number of awards that adorns his room, his office. But I didn't see him happy. That emotional quotient was not in a happy place. And I didn't see him satisfied. So materialistically, he's been successful, but the fulfillment is lacking. If materialistically somebody is happy, would it really bring emotional fulfillment? Where does emotional fulfillment come from? Where does that deep satisfaction come from? We don't really define these things for ourselves, and forever because of that, we don't dive inside us to know who we are and align what we achieve with who we are. And I see him still looking for validation for everything that he wants to do in life. He still wants more awards, more recognition, more relationships. And it's always I hear him say, I'm so lonely, I'm so lonely, I'm so lonely. There's nobody in my life. His wife is no more. Okay? It's sad that in this stage of his life, he doesn't have a spouse. But I think by this time, somebody should have gathered that wisdom or sense of satisfaction to be with oneself at peace. What are we chasing? Are we chasing those material benefits? Do they really give us peace and a sense of satisfaction?
So when you say this, what I'm sensing is it is either transactional, like it's very transactional. So as human beings, I think we have something called as free will. And I don't think we exercise it for the right things, right? So we are, rather than becoming transactional, our aim should be to transcend. And what I mean by that is, taking the situation that you told me, this person has everything, right? So like I said, this person has everything, but is this person happy having everything? Maybe this person is very happy that he has all of those things, but still sad that he's unable to share it with people that he loves. So if you think about at least our grandparents' generations, right? They might have come from a family of farmers. They might have come from a family of industrialists or textile people. But I have sensed, or I have seen this in these kind of families, that at least they get together for meals, even though they are out working, right? But then I don't think that happens anymore right now, because everything has become so transactional. I think what you're also saying, and what is coming to me is that, first of all, relationship in itself is very transactional. Let me take you one level deeper to this, okay? When two people meet, and it can be in any situation, it can be a business situation, it can be a relationship, it can be a student teacher, any relationship, there is always an energy exchange. Okay, it's more like, when I take relationships, it's more like, this person has something that I don't have, so I like what this person has. Now, rather than understanding how this person has this trait or behavior, I want to own this person, because by owning this person, I own that trait. So I'm going back to, I wouldn't call this control, but this is more on the lines of owning. And
But ownership is also a sense of control.
absolutely it is. It's like how parents say, we know better, so you do engineering or you do medical, right? And the child probably will say, I'm not good at math. I am not good at science. I cannot see blood. Like, my sister is a classic case for it. She did naturopathy because she dissected a frog when she was in college and she fainted. So she's like, I don't want to be in a field where I have to cut open a person and faint on it. And that is why I'll do something which is nature driven. And she flourished over there in that particular field. So what I'm saying is, and I've seen this in this movie. I think it was, what is that movie with the three guys, Amar Khan, Madhavan? Yeah. So you see, it's like somebody wants to become a photographer, but you're sending them for engineering. And so what I'm coming to is, if you are pushing somebody to go in a different directions, and like you exactly told in the beginning, right, you really did not, like, none of us knew what success was in the first place. We were asked to get X percentage in school, X percentage in college, and in order to get that, we were pushed, and I'm sure a lot of kids at that age go through a lot of torture, because there is constant comparisons as well. And the sad part is, parents don't compare them to other people. Parents compare them to their siblings as well.
That is tremendous. Yeah.
I have a question for parents. Do you compare yourself to other parents to see how good or bad you are? No, right? So who gives you the right to compare your kid to somebody else? And the reason why we are talking about kids, guys, is because all this conditioning, all these patterns, all the belief systems comes into this human being by the age of 7. And that is why once a person becomes a teenager, it's very difficult to change the way they are. Even if you send them for counseling, or if you even talk to them, if you are the most aware parents, then what you need to do is take care of your child, be emotionally available for your child, at least for a long period of time, and forever for that matter. But the primary years of their life, like 7, 8 years old, is so important, don't you think, Shilpi? Because you are a parent yourself, I'm sure you have had these thoughts based on how you were parented by your parents and how you parented your kids, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I dropped a flourishing career and decided to be a full time mother. Some people may say it's foolish. Some people may look down upon the decision. Some people may say, "Oh, so what's wrong in being a working woman as well as a mother?" It's absolutely fine. It's just a perspective, but you do what aligns with you. So for me, what aligned with me was I know I cannot do justice to being both a working woman and a mother. And this was one of the conditions I got married with. Okay. That when I become a mother, I will not be working. I will be a full time mother because I wanted to give my all to my children. I took a sabbatical of 8 years. It was very difficult because I was an independent woman. I was financially independent. I was independent in every possible way. And to get married at the age of 29, by the age of 30, deliver a child, and then decide that, okay, I'm not going to be working for I don't know how many years. To give up my financial independence also, it was difficult, but that's what aligned with me. And till date, I do not regret. I do not regret. So, this is something you've said rightly, that parents have to be emotionally available. You choose to work, pursue your career, fine. But you have to be available to your children. And that is what is lagging in society today. And that is developing so much chaos within these teenage group. It's heartbreaking to see the young children not anchored, not rooted, and they're all over the place because they are not emotionally stable. And I think that stability comes from parents being emotionally available. If not both, but at least one parent should be emotionally available.
I differ from that, okay? I think both needs to be available, because if just one is available and the other one is not, then that also creates a kind of bias, right? It's an imbalance, because a child would need the divine femininity coming from the mother and the masculinity coming from the father. Now, if I have to elaborate on this, let's say there is this child who has not gotten enough emotional support from either of their parents. So let's say if a child has not got enough emotional support from the mother, what happens is that they start behaving like, when they become adults, they become the same way. They don't have that softness in them. They don't have that sense of, I need to think about somebody else, or I can think about somebody. It's not mandatory that you should think about somebody else, but just that awareness that I don't have to suffer. Like, if you, all the movies that we watch, all the parents that we have seen, our own parents, for example, I think our parents have been, our mothers especially, have been so busy with feeding us, right? Cooking the right stuff, making sure that we are doing our homework, and all of these things. And they feel that is the most important thing to do. But to be very frank, a child doesn't like, of course, a child needs nourishment and all of those things, but the most important thing is availability. How many times has your mother asked you, how have you been? How was your day? Was your school good? Did you have a fight? No, right? And how does that make you feel now? Now, I think, as when people are aware, they get into this place that, okay, when I have a child, I need to be emotionally available and I need to ask these questions. I need to be aware as to what my child is going through. But let's say you're not aware. How long are you not going to be aware about all these things? And sometimes I have asked people who have had children, and when I see them behave with their kids a certain way, I ask them as to, why did you give birth to babies when you don't know how to take care of them? Like, did you just give birth to babies because your in-laws wanted you to give birth to babies?
And the society wants it this way.
Like, it's a very sad thing. You're bringing a life into this world. Are you even aware why you're bringing that life into this world?
Yeah.
And that is where everything is so transactional. You see, you are pregnant for 9 months. You give birth to the child, but you are not aware as to why you want to bring that child into the world. Isn't it transactional?
Yeah, of course, it's just a process. It is expected. It's conditioning again that you're supposed to get married and produce a child.
I like what Sadhguru says, okay? He's like, human beings are not going to go extinct anymore. So it's okay if you don't give birth to babies. Okay, so I want to ask you another question over here, okay? When you work with your clients, what is your intention behind it? And the reason why I am asking you this question is for people to understand, what is a mindset that they need to have when they work with the people that they work with, irrespective of the field? Okay, I'm talking specifically about work in this situation, because you have worked in corporate, I have worked in corporate. We know how people are and how they behave and how the entire environment is. So that is the reason why I'm asking you this question.
Yeah, so that's a good question, Priya. See, when I work with my clients, especially whether it's with sound therapy or teaching them how to modulate their voice, I I have a very holistic approach because I look at the person as a whole, not in parts and pieces. And I try to see and understand that what are the limiting beliefs or the value system that's limiting them. What is the conditioning from childhood? For example, even the way they speak, some come across so rigid, so constrictive, so flat. There is no emotion, there is no smile, there is no confidence, there is no energy, there is no vibrancy. And that shows me that they have been conditioned from their childhood. And when I go deeper into how they have been brought up, how were they in their childhood, did they really perform on stage, what kind of push and motivation did they receive from their parents, that gives me a lot of insights into how they were brought up and why they sound the way they sound, or why they carry the emotional baggage that they carry. Okay, why they are not able to process their emotions, because a lot of trauma is embedded in the nervous system and they are not aware of all this themselves because it's deeply buried in the subconscious mind and they're not aware of it. It's layers of those. So it is very important for me as a coach to unearth those layers and help them let go of all this they're holding inside them, and then work from a fresh perspective. Okay. For example, there is this corporate executive that I'm training on her vocals, on her vocal expression and vocal presence. She says that she wants to achieve a hierarchy, the higher hierarchy. She wants to get the promotion, the most coveted promotion she's been looking for. But when I hear her, there is no power, authority, command, confidence in her voice. And it is so evident even in the way she walks or the way she sits. Even the moment she walks into my room, very feebly she's walking. I said, okay, walk straight, shoulder straight. Okay, loosen up. What is this? Smile on your face. Okay, so I have to remind. Okay, Shilpi, then she smiles feebly. Very feebly she'll smile. So I know a lot of these conditioning is holding herself back. So I said, before she started with me, did you ever perform on stage? No. Why? Because that was not even a prerogative in my house. So what was the prerogative? Just get good marks. So now you see at the age of 40, 45, she's realizing that she's lacking so much in her personality, which is the hindrance for her to grow in her professional path. And that is somewhere transcending into her personal relationships also.
Yeah, of course.
Because there's so much trouble between her and her spouse. She comes across as a timid person and this person is dominating her. Okay, so when we are working with people, we have to break down so many barriers to even reach that goal of developing a powerful vocal presence. It's just not working with the voice. It's just not working with the one particular emotion, because there are so many other emotional factors which will result in one emotional problem, and we just focus on that.
So I'm thinking while you're speaking, because we have worked in corporates, how is this going to be in corporates? Because corporates usually, it's an unsaid rule, right? Leave your emotions outside, leave your creativity outside, right? Right?
But we are emotional beings.
Correct. And they say leave all these things outside and you come in and you work for us. So when and this is unsaid, that is the worst part of it. If you are saying it in an interview like, dude, I don't want you to come in with your emotional baggage, I don't want you to come in with your creativity, I don't want you to come in with your magic, then the person who is giving the interview, the candidate, would at least decide if I want to join this company or not. But that is never said. So it's an unsaid rule. It's been happening for, I think, the longest time since industrialization started. So in an environment like a corporate environment, I think the best thing that you can do, wherein you're not sacrificing your creativity or your magic or your authenticity, is to still create some avenue for you to explore these things, if not at work, then outside. Don't you think it makes sense?
It does definitely, but I think a lot has been changing since a long time, because earlier in the corporates it was all about the IQ. So you needed robots probably, and that's when it was told that, okay, keep your emotional baggage outside. Because I remember I was counseling this lady who was reporting to me. She was almost going to be thrown out by my boss. Okay. Why? Because whenever my boss came on an inspection or maybe just a visit, because she was in Gurgaon and she would come to Mumbai at times to just be with us for meetings and networking and work. So she would apparently see this lady always reading a book, not really working, reading a book. And I did not pay that much of attention then, because I was busy. It was a new office. I was busy setting up the office. And then she said, Shilpi, she has to go. I was like, what will this lady do? Because she's separated from her husband and she has 2 children to feed. How will she survive? Then I said, no. And I knew that lady, she's a very sincere person. She's dedicated. It's just that she was not motivated or inspired in the right direction. She didn't know what to do, how to be in an office. So I said, no, please don't. Give me some time. I'm going to train her. I'm going to take care of her. If she doesn't deliver in the next 3 months, then you take a call. And she said, okay, I leave it up to you. Believe me, I spruced her up. For 3 months, I was after her life. Till day, she tells me, Shilpi, today, whatever I am, it's because you pushed me. She did not even know how to write a mail. She did not even know how to handle calls. So from the scratch, I taught her. In the first place, I don't know why she was hired. She was hired because we needed her. I did not hire her. She was hired. So we have to understand that we all bring emotions because we are emotional beings. We are not robots. Yeah. And a lot has changed from then, that it's not about IQ. We move to emotional quotient, emotional intelligence. Yeah. And today the world is moving towards the sum of IQ and EQ, SQ, what we mentioned in the last episode. It's about spiritual quotient. And there are the C-suite in corporates who are assessed on the parameters of SQ. And if they fall short in any of the parameters, they are trained to build that parameter, to be able to be with their people, inspire their people. So it's no more like that. But apparently,
There is a lot more like that as
lot
well.
more work needs to be done, especially in our country, especially in our country.
Yeah. And this reminds me of another conversation that I was having with a person. And it also relates to the situation that you said earlier, where this person was completely driven to achieve all these things. The question that I had even while I was listening to you was it like, I was thinking to myself, is it actually being driven, or are you actually being desperate? Because I'm a part of multiple spiritual communities, okay? And there's this lady who wanted to communicate with her guides, okay? She wanted to channel information, and she's tried multiple things and she's unable to do it. And she's like, guys, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? So the first thing I asked her is, what is the energy that you're working with? Are you working with a desperate energy? Because if you're working with a desperate energy, कि मुझे ये अचीव करना है, I need to score so much marks, or I need to get to this position, or I need to earn so much money, or buy this car, or buy that house. Are you working in a state of desperation because you want to show others that you're capable of doing these things? Or are you working from a level of that you're driven because you like to have a car, you like to have a certain kind of house? So what is the difference, right? And when I look at all the companies that I have worked with and all the people that I have worked with, I feel it is pure desperation. It's not being driven at all because they know that they'll get a higher salary when they jump to a higher position. In order for them to jump to a higher position, hard work alone is not required. They need to hold buckets or lick asses as well, right? Now, they do that. It's not like they like doing it. And like, some people are really skilled. They can do it and they will feel nothing about it. It's like their birthright to do it. But there are some people who feel yucky about it. But then desperation to probably buy a house, desperation to probably become financially independent makes you do these things. And I hope these things are not happening in the corporate anymore. But as I'm saying that statement,
It is happening.
yeah, and that is such a sad place, and that is because everything is a transaction. If the C-suite, like you said, and I'm glad that you mentioned that they're getting trained on SQ, because I think when they get trained on SQ, they might not be so transactional. They might bring in their authentic self.
Yes.
They might at least consider that, okay, I am getting this person to work for so many hours for me. Let me think twice before giving them a pink slip. Or let me think twice before what can I do differently. And I'll tell you this, okay? The previous organization that I worked with, I'm sure a lot of people would have heard of this person's name. His name is Rajiv Talreja. He's a business consultant, okay? And his partner, Karan. These two people actually showed how empathetic founders can be. Because we have had, it's an organization, people come and people go. But there has been situations wherein we've really felt that these guys really care for their people a lot. And these guys go out of their way to help them or enable them to do stuff, okay? But I have not seen that in many organizations, and probably that is the reason why I have not survived for more than 2 years in any other organization. And I've survived there for 5 years, okay, until it was my decision that I needed to move on because I was done with that place, and something else was starting for me. But again, coming back to transaction, um, do you have any situation or example that you want to share when it comes to relationship being transactional? Now, all this was to do with work, right? And we're hoping that it becomes more transcendental than being transactional. But here is a request: if you guys are in leadership roles, if you guys are way showers, if you guys are thought leaders, if you guys are visionaries, think about this, because when you come in with conditioning, when you come in with all these emotional baggage that they come in with, there is no way that they can transcend, because they themselves are not transcending, they cannot transcend anybody else.
Absolutely. It's like to heal somebody, you have to heal yourself first. And when you mentioned leadership, leadership always trickle down from the top.
Yes.
It is never a bottom to top approach. It's always a top to bottom approach. Many a time leaders are only leaders because they hold the position. But they really don't have the spiritual quotient to be a leader. Because like you said, they have to be way showers. And for being a way shower, they have to live in gratitude, humility, live with compassion and empathy, and show others the way without any ego, without any bias and judgment. But how many people do that? How many leaders do that? It's always transactional. That I am in this position, so you better bow down to me. So where is the empathy? Where is the compassion? Where is the non-judgmental aspect?
There's nothing, right? Because even if you are an empathetic person in an environment like this, that is killed. Like, it's taken out of you. And people fail to realize that how you do one thing is how you do everything. So you cannot be a different person in an organization, treating your employees differently, right?
Completely agree. Like, people say compartmentalize your personal life and your professional life. It is not possible. It is bullshit. You cannot compartmentalize, because you're the same person here, you're the same person there. Okay? You will spill over your personality here, you will spill over your professional aspects here as well. Okay? And every change begins individually from the personal life. Okay, you cannot say that I'll be something else here and I'll be something else there. It is not possible. It is absolutely fake if we say that we can be one person at home, another person in the office.
Absolutely. When I work with my clients in journeying, I tell them I'm not your normal healer. Okay, I am not going to be soft. I will be when I need to be, but I don't have to put up this image that I am fitting into the role of a healer. People consider that if you are a spiritual person, then you need to dress a certain way, you need to talk a certain way, you need to smile a certain way. And I'm completely opposite to that. Right? I can, you got an experience of it, I've seen that. But I can swear like a sailor and still put across my point, because the minute I try to be somebody else, my authenticity is out of the window.
Of course, I think as a healer, first responsibility is to show them the mirror. Be their mirror, to show them the reality. And that is what they lack, because first of all, introspection is lacking. People don't introspect. They're always looking for problems outside. They're not looking for the problems inside them. Okay.
I think we need to talk about how stillness plays a very important role in your evolution. I think we'll come to that sometime. But yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah. So you were talking about the transactional relationships. Today, I think all the relationships are becoming toxic because of transactions. You do this for me, so I do this for you. And if you don't do this for me, I will not be available to you. Everything, whether it's a parent and child relationship or sibling relationship, whether it's friendship, husband and wife relationship, professional relationships, it's all about transaction. It's not about true compassion. It's not about unconditional love. Everything is conditional. It's very sad that all relationships are turning conditional. So there's always a calculation, there's always a manipulation being done. And that is why things are turning toxic.
So, I think, would you agree with me if I say that in order for you to achieve what you want to achieve, you don't really have to be transactional?
Of course. Because the highest frequency to exist with is the love frequency, and love has to be unconditional.
And the highest energy to exist with is authenticity. And there is and there is authenticity when there is love, and vice versa. So, I think this is for you people. If you feel that you need to be a certain way in order for you to achieve anything that you want to achieve, and if you then I would ask you to reflect on where did that start from? Whose belief system is that? Because when you go and identify that, you will realize that it is not your belief system in the first place. It has been given to you. You've been conditioned that way. And let me break something. Let me break something over here. Okay, we both are not special. Even we both were conditioned, but we chose to rise above that conditioning because we became aware of what is working for us, what is not working for us. We were not the sheep in the herd. I think we were black sheep standing out, hating everything that was happening, couldn't get out of it because of the conditioning. And then when we have gotten out of it, we want to call you guys to be a part of this and to experience this.
And it is not easy not being conditioned or breaking the conditioning. It is not easy. It's a tough journey, but worth it. Because you are liberated. Once you break the conditioning, you are liberating yourself. Yeah.
True. True. Okay, I think, Shilpi, let's do an experiential segment for these people so that they understand how is it to go from chaos to peace. What do you say?
Yeah, sure. So I'm going to pick up my heart bowl.
So what we're going to do here is we are going to play a sound frequency which is going to get you from your head space to your heart space. I'll tell you the difference between the two, okay? Your head space is where you're thinking all the time. I need to be this way, I need to do this, I need to come across like this, I need to talk like this, I need to sound like this, and all your planning, your master, you being the master planner, everything is going in the head, right? You only feel, and the sad part is this, you only feel when something bad happens. Isn't it? When something happy is happening, when something nice is happening, you feel happy and you're like done with it. But when you feel sad, you clutch to that feeling for a longer period of time.
That gets amplified.
Amplified, because we amplify it, okay? We'll talk about it in some other episode, but we amplify it, and how we amplify it is something we'll talk about. But then, today what I want you to do is drop from your head to your heart. And the reason why this is important is because it is your heart frequency that brings abundance. It is your heart frequency that awakens love. It is the heart frequency that makes you understand what real love is. Not the love that you understand in the normal world. Love is not kissing and having sex. Love is not you give me a gift and I will give you a gift. No, that is not love. Love is so much more purer than I think any one of us have literally understood.
It's beyond transaction.
So what we want you to do is just close your eyes, take a nice deep breath in, When you're breathing in, breathe in from the nose and exhale from the mouth. Take another nice deep breath in and exhale. Take another nice deep breath in and exhale. We'll play you a frequency now. Bring all your attention to just this tone and drop from your head to your heart. So place one hand on your heart while you're doing this.
And visualize your heart expanding to resonate with this frequency, expanding to open up to receiving love and abundance from the universe, expanding your heart to give love to everyone around you, to feel love for every little entity in this universe.
Thank you so much for that, Shilpi.
Pleasure.
And I hope you guys felt that too. So before we let you go, I have one very important question to ask you. You climbed up the ladder, but was the ladder against the right wall? And the people who love you really don't care about your achievements. You know, they care about your presence, they care about your availability. So think about it. Think about how your life has been and think about what you need to change. And if you felt aligned with everything that we spoke, if it resonated with you, if you felt something in your heart, and I'm not talking about the ego self of it, if you felt something in your heart, and if there is something resisting you from taking the next step, it is your ego. So ask yourself, do you want your ego to win, or do you want your higher self to win, your higher consciousness to win? And if it is your higher consciousness that you want to bring forth, then I invite you to apply for Disconnect to Connect, and I'll see you on the other side. Thank you. Thank you, Shilpi.